Welcome to Coming Into Being. I'm going to post my little comment here. Here we go. And hope everybody's doing well tonight. We are having a music fest over where I am. It's Music Month in France right now. So there's a lot of it's a lot of fun because there's just everybody out in the street, a lot of music. So kind of livens things up. It's nice to do things like that are take us out of the ordinary and also opens us up to new things. Not doing the usual things. And art is always great because it opens up us up to creativity and stuff. So I'm enjoying it. So let's see where we go today. Uh, And if you're in the chat, do stop by and say hello. You don't have to, but it's always nice to know who's out there with us. So, oops, and I forgot my walk. Okay, we're just gonna wing it with the dry throat today. So, all right. So letting yourself just settle onto whatever it is you're sitting on. Take a moment to just take in your environment. We've done this before. Hey, Cherie, we've done this before, and but it's always good to take that moment. Between shifting gears, shifting directions, just allowing yourself to sit and slow down for a minute, and just notice what's around you. Huh. Notice the objects. Notice the textures of what you're looking at. If you're looking at wood, just really kind of have a sense of that texture of the wood. It's different than cement. It's got a different tonal quality than cement or metal or whatever it is, carpet. If your feet are down on the floor, what are your feet touching? Really notice that texture of what your feet are on. And let yourself kind of get absorbed into the present moment and what's present. Letting yourself slow down, and even if it's the start of your day as well as the end of your day, allowing yourself to just take that moment to connect more deeply with with the moment, with nothing else, just the moment and yourself in that moment. And separate out a little bit from maybe the heaviness of human life. There's a lot of density and heaviness for a lot of people in that lower levels of consciousness. And so we always want to realign ourselves, really come into ourselves, because that helps to lift us up to. And it's not about lifting up a big high amount, but it's just about pulling ourselves up kind of above the norm, above the fray. Letting ourselves just feel that body. So first, just do a general feeling of your body. Notice the areas that you're noticing in your body that you're aware of as you sit, allowing your breath to go deeper and more relaxed. And as you notice where you are in your body, also notice where you're not. And we tend to have weaker areas where we're just not as present. And usually that's because we have frequencies that aren't ours that are in those areas, and that aren't us. So right now, that's not me. So saying that to yourself, well, okay, where is it then that it's not me and it's something else? And so that will produce numbness or kind of like, well, gosh, let me see, feel that area. Like feel between your shoulder blades. Do you have a sense of that area? Can you feel it? Can you feel it tangibly? It says, yeah, okay, I see it, I feel it. I can really, or not. There, the sides of your arms, of your body. So, sorry, underneath your arms, like from your armpits. And there's a lot of areas where we just tend to pull away from for a lot of different reasons. There's the cultural paradigms. There's the religious paradigm that has us pull away from certain areas, and it will shift the color that people see in the aura, in the auric field, in the chakras. So if you're still working with chakras, that will shift the color. Like if you take the color red, it's a certain spectrum of frequency, and the religious paradigm will pull people up, and usually like up from their lower abdomen, groin area, and up more into their heart or their head, or even further up. So that pulls on the whole system, and that shifts the color. So that just is an example of how that affects us, in giving really clear indication when you work with energies, frequencies, and you can actually see those or tap into them at some level. So, letting yourself relax down into, since we're talking about the lower abdomen, we're gonna go there because that also is an area that most people are pulled out of. Most people are pulled into their heads, and even especially athletes. We kind of think that athletes are really in their bodies, and they're not. They're not, because usually when you are like if you take a football player, American football player, but soccer as well, um, or rugby, when there's a lot of banging into each other, it's like, well, that's a lot of physical pain. And so what do we do when if you take a hammer and you accidentally hit your thumb, what do? You're actually energetically just pulling back on from where you hit, because it just hurts so much. It's sort of like, okay, let me get this taken care of. But if you feel the pain too much, then it's about managing the pain so you can take care of it. So there's a pulling away in a game, an athletic game. It's you push through, you keep pushing through, and you have to really be in control and in your head, not so much in your body, and get your body just go push, 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 push. So allowing ourselves to just like sink in even more deeply into our bodies, giving ourselves that time to connect with our bodies right now, because this is our home, this is where we live. And letting ourselves drop down to the pelvic seat and that pelvic girdle. There's the shape of the pelvic seat, the bone structure, which is really just like a bowl that we sit in, that holds us, that whole part, that whole area. And of course, with the spine, that just holds up the whole body up. So allowing yourself to really kind of come into that area. There's the legs that connect into that. There's the joints. There's the again, that whole pelvic structure. Then there's the spine that's there. The sacrum in that area. The tailbone. There's the sexual organs. There's the lower part of the intestinal tract. Depending on how far up you go, there's also part of the small intestine. There's a lot of ligaments in there. Hey, Asta. So just allowing yourself to really be aware, come into that awareness of that. Let's do like the waist on down. And if you want, you can, put your hands there to make it more tactile so that it helps to, feel that belly more or that back. Feel that sacrum. The sacrum is kind of shaped like I'm not going to be able to do this too well. Like a triangle, it's kind of a triangular shape pointing down, and then the tailbone attaches to that on the bottom side. So see if you can have a sense of your sacrum, and just kind of feel into it, just by putting your intention of connecting, of feeling into that, starts to bring you more into that area. So whether you actually can really feel it, some people are actually really good at that, and it's kind of a skill to develop, in being really present in that area. And you might feel down into um, the tailbone. So there's I forget how many bones. I want to say four. I can't remember, but maybe like four bones from the sacrum that are part of the tail. That curves around. Letting yourself feel into that, and see if you can get a sense of if that tail is straight. Your little tail, yes, that's straight, or if it's slightly is shifted to one side. That can happen when we have accidents or maybe fall down the steps. When you're a kid and you go boom, boom, boom down the steps. And maybe that was an accidental boom, boom, boom when you were a kid. And so it just shifts it out of alignment. And then that starts to pull the whole side that it's pointing towards, and as well as the side that it's pointing away from. See if you can have a sense of that for yourself. Is your tailbone pretty much straight down, or is it kind of pulling in one direction or pulling in another? And just, with that awareness coming into that whole area, into that tailbone, and allowing yourself to just kind of feel into that, feel any pull in any direction. And it could be even pulled more towards the front or more towards the back. That might involve like more the sacrum and the lumbar area also. And just feel yourself, with that intention of just relaxing the muscles in, just kind of allowing that area to just relax more. Yeah. So that might start to really open up that area and bring up a lot of stuff that needs to be cleared out. Like misuse of sexual expression. So I'll say misuse instead of abuse because it's like maybe something that we're choosing to do, but sometimes it's not quite the right situation, or it's like, oh, yeah, kind of, there's a little bit of twisting around. It's not just this very smooth, open, and well thought of connection, not thought of mentally, but at that deeper level, there's just that smoothness of connection. And so we kind of go ahead and do it. And when you're young, when your hormones are getting, there's a lot of that pull from that hormonal um, pull to have sex, but not necessarily always in the uh, best conditions. Let's put it that way. And so I'll just I feel like I mean, it is a sort of abuse, but misuse of that expression, and just kind of relaxing into that whole area. There's a lot of collective history in there too that we all carry. They'll start to kind of shift some of that for you as you focus in on what is your known history. Maybe allowing some of those memories to come back and just kind of making peace with it. You could be just saying, okay, yeah, that wasn't the best thing, but I did I did the best that I could do in that moment, and let's let go of the old, you know, and doing the best you can in that moment. And maybe it was, a aggressive act, but you're doing your best to get through that. And if you're here, if you're listening to this, then you've gotten this far instead of hammering yourself with judgment, um, or allowing that judgment to come from the external. So, like the religious paradigm is real bad for that. Cultural paradigm also comes in very heavy. Fam- Family lineage stuff too. So shifting, we're shifting a lot of stuff here, for people. So keep breathing into that area and just giving that part of you that appreciation and just appreciation. Yeah, appreciation and love, and just by putting your awareness there, that's all you need to do. And breathing into whatever comes up for you, allowing it to just let it go instead of trying to like push it out of the way. And keep just breathing into that area. A lot of yeah, there's a lot of collective stuff that's coming up. So good job, everybody, and thanks for popping in to really participate in this clearing for the collective. There's in the collective, there's a lot of history of mutilation of that. Yeah. Oh, wow. So bringing up a lot of pain, a lot of physical pain, as well as emotional pain. Let us release this. It will not help our children. It will not help us in any way. So you're all doing really well. So keep breathing into that area and just breathe in and breathe out. With your awareness down there, feel yourself pulling up fresh frequencies from the earth, from pure pure source into that area to kind of wash through that area and exhale it out. You can follow the chakra and exhale it out through the chakra if that's easier, or you can feel it kind of pull in from pure source from all around and into that area. And then as you exhale, exhaling out all that can be released for you. Yeah, very nice. And keep shifting out that collective peace. It's almost like there's this corkscrew. So it just gives a sensation of very painful feeling. And with the history of mutilation for control of women, but also men's sexuality and sexual connection with a partner, usually by families. Uh, that's yeah, and that's really bringing up a lot of just this contraction and this just rigidifying of the tissues in there. And that's our creativity. That's our essence, our physical essence, or our spirit essence brought into physical. Um, and unfortunately, most people are. In fact, nobody's really free of that because even if you haven't experienced had a negative experience in your lifetime, uh, there's still that piece that we're connected to the collective. So there's that piece that we kind of have within us because we are in this human collective. And the history of the human identity, and that's one of the deepest expressions that we have, really. It's sort of in some ways it's that purest expression of ourselves on the purest physical level. Uh, uh, just connects us into that pure physical expression of our spirits in physical form. So that can be very damaging. So breathing into that. Yeah, very nice. A lot of sadness coming through. So and that's good. That's about really that sadness just is a way. Letting that come through is a way of really honoring uh, this piece for ourselves and for humanity. That anyone has had to go through that experience, that wounding. Okay, it's a bigger. There's a nice opening that's happened here, so that's good. Very nice. So allowing that, let's just pull that up. Take a nice deep breath in from the core of the earth. Bring it all the way into that lower abdomen area. Hold it in there. Exhale out. Taking another deep breath in, pulling it up to the heart. So yeah, there we go. Let's open up that flow and that connection into the heart, because they need to be aligned for that purity of expression. And for that more profound connection. And it's not about having committed relationship kind of thing, but it's having a deeper level of connection in what we do for ourselves at the physical level, or coming into the emotional level and that heart space, connecting those both up. So this is even beyond that sexual expression of everything that we do, bringing more of our full self into the picture, into what we do. Okay, I'm gonna open up that, work on that. So um, keep, okay, let's see, how do I want to guide you? um, Take a deep breath in from the core of the earth, bringing it into the lower abdomen, exhaling, out in that area, and in that area, taking another deep breath in and bringing it up to the heart. So really focusing on that, pulling it through to the heart. That will help you as I work on my end. That will kind of do double duty here and really open up, clear up that connection for you. A lot of distorted, family relationship. There's father's the first one that's showing up where there wasn't a clean connection, and an example of that is if couple, the parents do not have a good connection for themselves, then there is this search for the emotional connection, and it starts to happen through a child, or maybe typical scenarios like during war when the men are away at war, and so mommy's little boy thing where there's this longing for that, for the woman to have that connection with a man, and there's only her son, it could be like a little 4-year-old boy, and so mommy's little man, and there's a distortion in that, because there's a disintegration of the parent-child roles, and it's really not good for the kids, and that happens both with both boys and girls, so that's showing up to clear out of the heart space, and that will keep you from having that really pure kind of connection, at the right kind of connection. Ah, whether you're a mother or father, or whether it's with your partner, or whatever. So we got some good shifting happening, releasing out of that. So good, opening some more expression, more purity of expression here for people. When you have to be the adult for your parents, or for your parent, with alcoholism, that's a typical example. Depression, that's another example where a child can, or the children might start to become the adults for the parent. Very good. So let's take a nice deep breath in. Let's this time pull it all the way through into your heart space, and then releasing it out from the heart space. Very nice. And just kind of sitting again, just kind of bringing your awareness. Don't worry about pulling the breath through, just kind of sitting in your chest, your heart space. And yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of, well, it kind of looks like little entities for me, but let's see more precisely, um, like little goblins. So it's a combination of stuff that's clearing out for people. One of them is sort of what we'll call entities, so non-human entities that have come in, and kind of control dark sources kind of thing, that are just kind of hanging out there that haven't completely cleared out. Some of that is people, so it depends on the person here. But let's just open up. So you're breathing in and into that space, pulling up fresh frequencies up from the heart space into the heart space, right? And then holding it there, maybe for a count or two, and then exhaling out. So just kind of keep moving in that breathing cycle, and let's clear that out. There's a lot of kind of that entity stuff that's clearing out of people. So good, really, real good. Not happy about having to step out of the little squat that they they're squatting on territory there. It's like the squatters who come into this abandoned home. There's nobody in there. Let's sit in here. It's nice and cozy. So just pushing them out, as well as people. It doesn't have to be very many people, but people will try to attach to you through the heart, through the kindness, through kindness of your heart. If you're nice, if you're kind, if love connections that aren't solid, that aren't as pure as they could be. And we're not talking about needing to be 100% pure. Everybody's kind of work in progress with that. But when they kind of present themselves as really caring about you, but all they're doing is just like just plugging into you. So releasing, yeah, there's some ooh, little cords that are coming out, what are called the cords of attachments, kind of energetically that can kind of show up as just plugging into you. Uh, so releasing those. So yeah, there we go. Hi, Karen. Hi. Kind of we're towards the end of this, but we're focusing on the heart space right now and clearing that out. And if you're joining in, then your spirit probably let's join in over here because we need a little work on this. So thanks for stopping in. So just kind of sitting into your heart space, bringing your breath into that area. Oh, we're clearing out, yeah, clearing out that sadness that's showing up now, deeper kind of emotions that are more deeply in there. Uh, kind of loss of connection, not having the a good connection. Um, let me. This piece feels like it's not having a good connection because the person is coming from being in charge, being controlled, being on top of it, and so actually that connects right back up to what I was saying earlier with the parent-child relationship when that gets distorted and the child becomes a surrogate adult partner for the parent at the emotional level. We get into these pieces of kind of coming into control in a certain level. And so that goes into our relationships. And so not being able to really just open up our hearts to express that ourselves, to express who we are, to really show, to be in that vulnerability of ourselves and show ourselves in in a relationship. So that sadness, because that connection doesn't happen as deeply as it could and as deeply as what we really are looking for, so uh let's bring that to the surface in this moment. Yeah. And just allowing yourselves to kind of relax into that. And by relax, I just you kind of surrender to it. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel great. We wish that it could have gone better, but just allowing ourselves to just acknowledge whatever it was for us, and to kind of let go, relax those muscles, from holding up, that control. There's a tendency to really pull up those shoulders and to be in charge. There's a better way of maybe saying it that might make more sense for people. So if you've noticed people's shoulders are really kind of pulled up like that, they're really in that being in charge place. And so relaxing that down. Even going like this, pulling your shoulders up, then just letting them relax. They'll help to um, kind of disjoint the muscles and the nervous system and that to just kind of, oh, relax. Yeah. Oh, okay. I was a little tight there. I was pulling up. It's like, okay. And breathe out. Yeah. Taking taking a nice chunk off the back there with that one of that being in charge. And because when we're in charge, it's really kind of we can tend to hold ourselves really kind of stiff in a way, to hold our heads above water and command our way through situations, not allow ourselves to go into that vulnerability because we don't feel like we're very strong. We don't feel like we're going to be able to protect ourselves. When we have enough strength for ourselves, so keep breathing into your heart space, but when we have that enough inner strength and connection with our spirits and standing up for ourselves and coming into that alignment with our spirits for ourselves, then it becomes easier to be in that vulnerable place because then we know we can, in that deeper connection is that trust. When we come into a deeper alignment with ourselves, is that deeper trust for our spirit to take care of us, and it's not that it's going to be necessarily easy, but trusting that we will be taken care of. Um, so that allows us to be more vulnerable in the sense of just really putting out there what we're really feeling. That's vulnerability instead of kind of putting more of a facade. Okay, let's take one more deep breath into the heart space, pulling up all those frequencies from the earth, filling up that heart space. Yeah, releasing a nice chunk there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, feel that openness. Feels a lot more open to me in general in the group there. So really good. I mean, maybe there's some more to work on, but there's been a nice kind of release into that. So now take another nice deep breath in from the core of the earth. And this time, start as you pull through your body, be aware of your groin and going through your groin, filling up your groin. Keep moving it up through into the heart, filling it up the heart space, and then move all the way up into your head space. So that all three of those areas of aspects of ourselves come into connection with each other in alignment. And let's take another nice deep breath in all the way to the head. Hold it there for a minute and then just exhale it out. Yeah. Oh, and releasing. Yeah, there we go. Gonna just kind of get in there and let's feel like the spine needs to be aligned in that area. So that's the that internal part from the neck into the in the head, the part that goes as I guess the brainstem. Um, so take a deep breath in, bring your awareness to the center of your head, and just allow yourself to like sink back, sink in to what feels like is just that center point. Almost there. So just keep aiming for and just go, okay, I'll just go into my center point in my head. Boom. And let yourself just kind of not try to figure it out. Mm. Yeah, it's moving and we're almost there. Keep breathing into that and relaxing in. Lot of okay, we're hitting a spot, so we keep moving through this, so hitting a spot where there's resistance. It's kind of like this argumentative energy of around coming into that center. A lot of that, some of that stuff comes from just it's about being in our power. And there's a lot that's out there that is counter to us being in our power, owning our power, whether it's religious paradigm, whether it's the control paradigm, whether it's the old consciousness, there are a lot of different pieces that come into that of no, you're not going to own your power. You're not going to own yourself because when you do, you can't be controlled. You're your own person. You're free. So there's usually a lot that's working against that. But there has been, let's put it that way, there has been. We're in the process of moving beyond all that to a new consciousness, but there's still those remnants that we need to clear through. The collective's still doing a lot of clearing around that also. So, yeah, very good. Just keep breathing into that. That's much better. Shifting all the way down through the spine. All the way through. Very nice. To the tip of the tailbone and then releasing out. Wow, very nice. Good work, guys. So you might have kind of this very quiet sensation in your head right now. Maybe you almost feel like floating in your head in some ways because it's not what you're usually, uh, it's not the usual state for your head. Almost kind of could be like just this open feeling. Doesn't have to be very expansive, but just kind of open. Maybe even blank might be a word you might use. So very nice. So let me just anchor you more deeply. Just keep allowing yourself to breathe into this space and connect in more deeply. Let's just gonna anchor the group in more solidly into the new earth. There we go. And allowing those frequencies to come up. Very nice. Boy, that was a very good clearing there. Hope everybody's feeling good with that one. If you care to comment in while I finish this up, here's my little QR code that I'm showing over on uh, Facebook and YouTube. So if you'd like to just make a donation, and I call it a value donation, that was super good. Oh, excellent. Good to hear. If you'd like to make a value donation, and what I call value donation is just, basically any amount, but uh, it's about valuing the work that you've received, but also valuing yourself in that offering kind of thing. And it's not about, you got to make a big amount. Just look at what's in alignment for you to make. So there's the QR code on YouTube and Facebook. On Instagram, if you care to, you can click on the link in my bio, and that will take you to the Coming Into Being page. And there's a link there, a button there that you can do that with if you want. Um, so very good. Yes, thank you from Asta as well. Um, and Karen, yeah, you came in a little late, but I hope I hope you got at least a little decent clearing there. You had about 15 minutes, so that's good. I hope that worked well for you. Oops, I'm not in the okay. Another, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And anything else that anybody like to add into that? You never know what's going to happen to these sessions. It's whatever shows up in the moment that needs to be addressed. Whether it's the individuals on the call, obviously, but there's also this piece of we're really tapping into a lot of collective clearing that is getting done because a lot of people have been doing some real deep clearing for themselves, and so at the personal level, and then when you go deeper and you start to really get into the collective, which is also really good. All right. Thank you all for joining. And every Wednesday at, I gotta stop a minute and focus, 7 p.m. Eastern I'm sorry, Central European Time, 7 p.m., 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And 3 hours earlier, would that be like 1, 12, 11, 10 o'clock, 10 in the morning for Pacific Time in the US? In some parts of the world, 7 p.m. here is 7 a.m. over there. So, and wherever you are in the morning, in your day, morning, afternoon, evening, every Wednesday. So just stop on by when you feel drawn to come, and if you feel drawn, then likely there's something you're gonna bring to the table, or something that you need to have addressed. So great. Thank you all for stopping by, and see you around wherever we connect up, and definitely in the ethers. Uh, so